This is Russ Hull, University of Calgary, presenting on behalf of the APEX research group and presenting to you tonight at the American Society of Hematology, hence the background noise, late-breaking news on full dose versus reduced dose Betrixaban and the associated pharmacologic data. This is a very important analysis of APEX because, to focus it for you, the full dose, which was 80 milligrams, was successful, and the 40 milligram dose, which was provided to patients who are at risk of drug accumulation, failed. The relevance of this is that the 80 milligram dose in the large population in which it was studied, now, from the methodological point of view, the tiered analysis, which you see here, meets all of the prerequisite statistical steps required to demonstrate that Betrixaban is effective and safe. And so you recall with the original publication that in the overall database where the dose differences were not studied in detail, we just missed the pre-specified p-value, which was equal to or less than 0.05, which left us with an exploratory rather than scientifically confirmational analysis. Because the 40 milligram dose failed, and this is stratified, pre-specified, we're left with a population of patients who had the 80 milligram dose and all of the pre-specified endpoints going down tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 are met. So we now have clear data showing that the full 80 milligram dose is effective and safe and meets the pre-specified stepped analysis required to prove that. So this is a celebration. So in reviewing the data for the Betrixaban concentrations, as shown in this table, you have the reduced dose, full dose, the geometric means for the Betrixaban levels, and importantly, you can see the populations in which the reduced dose was used. This is the study design, and now we know more about renal impairment, and this is no longer relevant because of the fact that Betrixaban is not very renally dependent, and that's one of its advantages. However, in using P-glycoprotein inhibitors, for example, amiodarone, you can see that the drug dose levels were similar to the full dose levels. In other words, if we hadn't reduced the dose with amiodarone, there would have been drug toxicity potentially. However, if you look at other P-glycoprotein inhibitors, the drug levels were unsuccessful as compared with what is seen with the full dose of 80 milligrams. So there's a pharmacological link between the dose, full, and reduced dose. And as I mentioned, the importance of this data is we now have confirmation, meeting all of the pre-specified statistical endpoints, that the 80 milligram dose is effective in tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. And just to read that, tier 1 is D-dimer, upper limit of normal above 2, and this is a biomarker of a high risk. In an already enriched high-risk population, going to cohort 2, this is now D-dimer, with the specification you see here, and age, or age I should say, not and, or, of 75 plus, which is another biomarker for risk. And then we go to the overall population, including all of these patients. And the difficulty in the primary publication for APEX was that we were already dealing with an enriched population, which made it a bit more difficult to show in cohort 1 the enrichment. But this particular analysis solves that because we have a failed dose and an effective dose meeting all of these pre-specified statistical steps. Thank you. Good night.